Alright, so what we're gonna do is let's do some statistics. And what we're gonna do is, in statistics they tell you you can toss a coin 20 times, and what's the possibility that you get all heads, or whatever. So what we're going to do is in this example, we're gonna draw, let's say 20 times, and we're gonna keep track of all the 20 times, and we wanna see who won. 11 out of the 20, when you're like losing, you keep adding more and more and more. So for this example here, we're gonna do for int I equals, 1 I less or equals than 20, similar to what you were supposed to do in your midterm. Except that before you print anything, each one is gonna draw, right? You draw, I draw. If I run this, there's it 20 times, right? Oh, I need an integer here, a couple integers. Your wins, my wins. And actually, if you remember in the for loop, the first section, which is all the sections in the for loop, are delimited by what? Semicolons. Somebody forgot to do that in the midterm. Use semicolons. So the first section it's called the variable initialization, right? And you can declare variables too. The second section is for the condition, your logical test. And the last one is your increments, the last section. So if the first section is for variable initialization, I can do your wins equals 0 and my wins, and I can, what happened here? What does it say here? What is the error? Duplicate. Oh, because I call them ints here, so I don't need this actually. There we go. So I declare all these three variables and I initialize them to 1, 0, 0. So in here, if I win, I need to display that, but also I need to increment my wins by 1, which means it's gonna be more than one line executed with the if statement. So I need the curly brackets at that point. So my wins increments 1, and if you win, increments 1, right? At the end, I can say system I won plus my wins times, and you won your wins. Oh, look at that. My wins and your wins are not declared. Why is that? Because your wins and my wins only exist inside the for loop. So how can I fix that? They need to be declared outside. So I need to declare all of them outside. So let's do them here. Int I, your wins, my wins. So we just initialize them, we don't declare them inside the for loop. Your wins, no, you wins. There you go. So if I run this, I won 7 times and you won 8. Alright. And you can go and look at each one of them. If I run this again, I won 8 and you won 7. So there were about 3 draws there. I'm sorry, 5 draws. 10 draws. No, yeah.
Given the error you had found before, we have the int I.
So I declare int, I declare them outside the for loop. So what happens is when you declare one inside the for loop, you declare them all. So since I declare them all here, all I do is initialize them here. Alright, so HTML. Let's put this aside for a minute and let's make a new file. I'm gonna make a text file and I'm gonna call this example.html. So I changed the extension from txt to HTML. So if it's HTML, you see it's gonna be open automatically with whatever browser you have. So if I double click on this, it'll open, I think, in Microsoft Edge. Let's use Firefox. I don't care for Microsoft Edge. And there's nothing there because it's blank, right? If I right click and open with, I can open it with Notepad. No, Notepad. I can open it with TextPad, I guess. Let's open it with that. I don't care about, thank you for using blah blah blah. No, close. Alright, so use Notepad, it's the same thing. Who cares? So tags, it's what makes the HTML work. Tag is simply something like this. Less than and less than and the greater than sign together, and in the middle is going to be the tag name, right? So it will be HTML, and then the closing tags is same but with the /. It follows the same logic as when you do the classes. This is like the class, and inside you're gonna have your methods or sections, if you will. So generally there's two sections. There's the header and there's the body. Inside the header, let me tab this a little bit so, and let's do some indentation so it looks better. There we go. In the header, you can have your cascade install sheets called SSS. You can have your JavaScripts. In this case, I'm going to use a title, Java class, I'm going to call it. That's my title. I can put it in one line, I can put it in two separate lines, it doesn't matter. So if I save this and I refresh, notice my tab says Java class on top. That's the title. Alright, so then in the body, you can make the body look whatever you want. Inside the tags, you can have properties. Properties are kind of like static. They don't it's like fields that they don't require mutators or accessors, just a property. One of them is BG color, which means background color. I can make it yellow, for instance. And if I refresh that, now the whole thing is yellow, right? I hope you don't choose that. So what I usually do, well, I have this in Paint, right? Oh, I like that color. That kind of like yellowish, white, whatever. And it has an RGB color. And the RGB are here. 239, 228, 176. However, the colors in HTML are set in hexadecimal, not in decimal. So remember we went, and I think I showed you at the beginning, and actually there's a video on Blackboard how to convert from decimal to binary and hexadecimal. But since we're past that, we're gonna use a calculator. So I can use the format programmer, and it says 239. There's the hexadecimals, EF. So it's EF. 228 is, let's see, EF, E4, and 176 is B0. So if I go, instead of that, I use EF, what was it, EF?
E00.
No, before that,
E4.
B4, E4, and B0, right? So if I refresh that, Give me that yellow. So you can go to find a nice cool website, and then you can just use paint to get the colors, and then you make the colors you want. Anyways, so when we're using data, we like to use tables. And the table, it's like that. And we gotta close the table. It's inside the body. You can add properties of the table like border size, something like that. But a table is just a box. And what we want is, a table is like a grid, right? So like in Excel, you got the columns and the rows. So if I were to open Excel here, I want it to look something like this. I want it to say rock, paper, need a comma, paper, scissors, results. So you, me, and I wanted to say, it's gonna be 20 times. So let's do it like this. Let's move this. Draw a number. So I got 1. So we did it 20 times. Maybe I should make this a bit smaller, or shorter, I should say. So let's do 12, so you can fit them all. There we go. And then I want to say totals here. And then, you will say rock, paper, and so on, whatever they draw here. And at the end, I want to say, I won 8 times, you won 8 times, I won 7 times. Something like that. Kind of like a report. So, let's use these rock, paper, scissors results as my title for now. And then each one of these from here to here, this is a row, right? This is a row, this is another row, and so on. The first row, I'm gonna make it bold because those are my titles. Well, we call it headers in HTML. So we gotta do a row first. So we gotta do 22 rows. So I'm just gonna do 1 for now. So this is a row. I close the row. And the row is gonna say headers here. So this table row is TR. Table header is TH. So I say draw number. I have another table header. So U, close the table header. Another one will be me, close the table header. That's the end of the row. Now I need another row, and this time I'm not gonna put headers, I'm just gonna put the data. That's where I'm gonna use the table data, TD. So it'll be number 1, and I'm just gonna say the first one was rocks, and you got paper or whatever. And I'll repeat the table data for each of the drawings and the last one too. So it looks like this. So I refresh this, right? So, and at the end, you're gonna have table rows. This one is gonna repeat as many times, it repeats 20 times. And at the end, you're gonna have totals. You got 8. I got 7. And I close the row here. Right? So now the one's going to repeat is 1 through 20. The top and the bottom are fixed, right? It only shows once. So what class do we need to make a file, a text file? What's the name of the class? Yeah, it's a print writer. And I need to import java.io, right? And every time I work with files, I need to have the try catch, right? Once we talk about inheritance more, we're gonna learn more about exception handling. But for now, we need to have a section that says try catch and then the exception we need to display an error message if there's any, and we were using the Java, we're going to import the Java x.swing, right? Remember that? And what class did we use to display the errors? I'm sorry, the exceptions? Remember? I think it's J option pane or panel pane, and this says show message, and we use null, and we say the message was gonna be e.getMessage. Alright, so anything we want to not to crash, we're gonna put it inside the try, right? So if we do this and move it inside the try, nothing has changed. So I can run this. Nothing has changed. Alright, so now we're gonna write this into a file. So the first thing we gotta write is the things that don't repeat. which are gonna be all this, right? Because this one, the 1 through 20 here, these rows are the ones that we're gonna keep repeating into the file, or however many times we're gonna loop. So this part we could write it once, but before we do that, we need to create an instance of our class printWriter, right? So printWriter equals new printWriter, and we should say where we want this, and where do we want this. We're gonna call this, let's see, I'm gonna put it on my desktop. So it's C users, my name, desktop, and results HTML. Now, because these are backslashes and this is a Windows environment, it expects the escape characters, expects double slashes, right? If you were using the Mac, would be forward slashes, you didn't have to use doubles. And every time you open a file, when you're done, what do? You close it, right? Close this file, and here is opens files, right? So this for loop is what is repeated, but before I do the repetition, I'm gonna copy this first. So I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it here, and of course I got a bunch of errors. So I need to write them same way we do with the system that I'll use the print line, and this is just a string. So what I'm going to do is put all this in one line. Well, if it doesn't fit there, I can use the plus sign, and I keep going here. Now, come on, because this is it doesn't like me, huh? I can put it all in one line, well, as many lines as you need. It's like I had to put the last double quotes before I can close this one. There you go. If it makes it easier on you, you can put it all in one line. I did this plus sign just to make it fit in the screen so you can see it. And then after the for loop, I write this, right? My footer, basically. However, the totals 8 and 7, it has to be the actual totals, right? So I'm gonna copy that. And I'm going to write it. So it's not 8, that was, which one? Let's go first. U. So it will be, instead of 8, I close my quotes and add your wins plus my wins plus there we go. So now inside the for loop, I need to write something like this. So inside the for loop, after you draw, I'm gonna put it here. That's what it looks like, right? So inside the for loop, I'm gonna write print writer dot print line, and I'm gonna write that tr, that td, and then I, because that's my, oops. Oh, wait a minute, it's U, I think, first. Right, so I added this line in the for loop. And before the for loop, I added this. And after the for loop, I added this. And I closed it, of course. So what happens if I run it? So it says I won 11 times and you won 4. Let's see. If I go here, my desktop, where's my desktop? Oh, I had it there. That's the result. There you go. You got 4, I got 11. So the 2 winnings of yours, and 3 wins here. Here is 4. And then, oh, wait a minute. No, this is not 4. I can hear you lost. Here is the 4th. Now I got a report. The nice thing about this is you can email that HTML code. So let's go back here, take a look. I really haven't shown you anything else new other than the override of the, well, that wasn't new, I showed you last time, of the equals and the toString. And now we're starting using everything we know to combine things. I'm gonna post this online so you can have it. You have any questions? What is important that you understand, if your table looks all wacky, is because you didn't close probably a table data, a cell correctly, or a row correctly. So as if I were to do, like if I didn't do that, well, let's say I forgot that one. Let's see how it looks. Oh, yeah, I want free evaluation. Well, that doesn't seem to change. Well, what if I let's undo that one, and what if I screw that one up? Does it look funky? No, still didn't. What if by accident I do that? I didn't close it tag. Actually, I reopen a new one. Well, I open a new one, I should say. It just looks wider. So let's say I do that. See what it looks like. It's looking funky now. Should be here. That was only one row, but if I have this, let's say I do it like this, and I had this 20 times. Okay, 5 times. Seven should be here. So anyways, you can learn HTML, I told you, from w3schools.com, right? You can spend all weekend there outside. Now you cannot be in the pool because it's getting cold, so read some Java or HTML. And if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna give you some homework. All right.